How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another ride with Backpacking Black. I think I got everything on me, so we're going to get started. Love that sound. Love it, love it, love it. Oh. It is 65 degrees today and gorgeous. So I figured I would do a video following up with the other video and talk about everything for you post-grad MSF people. Because I guarantee you, you're probably still going to be freaked out when you get this bike out on the road. So the thing I'd like to do is talk about like a graduated tier system here. So I think that the MSF course does a decent job for teaching you skills and things like that. You can also look up Moto Jitsu. He's really good with what he does. And there's a never-ending supply of courses that you can do online or find online to practice. So my suggestion here is this is more for when you get out on the road, not necessarily going into a parking lot and doing your exercises. So my first suggestion is, you know, once you get comfortable with your bike, you should do kind of what I'm doing now. I'll see if I can look around some here. There's not very many people on this road. It's only about 35 miles an hour, so you'll get comfortable with that. It's very easy. Handful of stoplights, you know. So this is where I tell people you have to start getting comfortable, and it'll make you more aware, and it makes you realize, you know, I need to go slower because you have to contend with traffic coming in from different ways, and you know, just being careful with it. It gives you a little bit more perspective on where you're going within this. And again, it's kind of a baby step. I wouldn't recommend going to downtown only because it's slower there, but there's more traffic than this, and it's not a good speed to get you cruising. It's good if you want to work on your throttle control and your clutch control, but for the purposes of getting around, I would stick with something that's around 35 miles an hour. So this is a pretty good example going this way. And then again, this teaches you more awareness. So you can see we got a school here. Chances are there's probably a police officer somewhere in this parking lot. See, right there. And you know, you got to be more aware of these things. There's kids around. There's more traffic because you know that school is going to get out around 3 o'clock or so. So this is probably the beginner area realistically after you get out of the MSF course, just so you can start getting your feet wet a little bit. You get to experience a little bit of speed without going crazy, and it'll get you comfortable for the positioning on the bike and things. It'll teach you to look both ways whenever you got people coming. Because people do not pay attention. You have to be careful around people. It'll also get you into the feeling of gearing for your bike, because you're not opening it wide up, and you got to get comfortable with where your bike is. So In the case of my bike, it is a 3-cylinder engine. It has a lot of mid-range power, but the torque's not crazy, and the top end's not crazy. So you'll learn, where to feel those changes. It's kind of hard to explain without having driven a manual. So if you haven't done that, you'll get the sense of it. And you'll get to work on some of your cornering type things, like doing your right-hand turns, making a left, and the one thing they'll teach you in that course, look through the curb. So wherever you're going, wherever you're looking, this bike is going to go. At some point. Now, I'm not going to say if I sit here and look, this way, that I'm not going to do that. But you can even see that while I wasn't going straight, I started veering over to the right. So that is a very real principle. Make sure you you apply it and get comfortable with it. And then here again, you got to watch for your speed changes. Be looking ahead. Always try to look at least 5 seconds ahead. Is kind of the way I look at it. Not that that's always going to happen, but that's a good rule of thumb. The Crafty Sloth. I'm going to have to look that one up. That one's pretty new. I haven't seen anything on that one too much. Another thing this will teach you is look at your mirrors. It's something that's important to do, and some people underestimate the value of it. But it will save your life if you're, there's not a lot of blind spots on here, but they do exist. Oh, it is such a nice day. So, here in a second, I'm going to turn down a side street that connects a lot of places. It's got a few more turns to it. And the speed is a little bit higher. This is another reason you want to do this once you get out of the class, is they do teach you a little bit on a hill, but it's just not the same. I still can't believe all the salt that is out on these roads. You got to be careful with that. It is slick. Going over it straight, not too big a deal, but you do have to be careful, especially in those turns. So always keep an eye out for that, and just debris in general. Have to keep an eye out for my turn here. Take you guys on the... This is another thing you'll learn, is the emergency braking. Like, I braked pretty hard there, but you want to make sure you use both brakes. And then if you can, use engine braking. Here again, that's kind of hard to explain if you've never driven a manual car. But shifting into a lower gear will slow down the bike mechanically. You don't have to actually use the brakes. I may have lied a little bit here. This street has a little bit of stop and go traffic, but it does open up here in a little bit. Probably could have just went down the street over and it probably would have been okay. If you go down Davis Street there, you'll actually find the first legal distillery in Alamance County. And I have not cracked into the bottle that I purchased yet, but it was they do samplings, and I forget how much it is to do it, but they've got some great gin and corn whiskey. They do make rum too, but I'm just not a rum guy. It's not my thing. Another thing you may want that they might go over this in the MSF course. If you can stay behind the wheels of cars, that's kind of important. It will clear off a lot of the brush. You can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see it here, but you can see where some of the salt has been moved to the center. And that's the way that it works with pretty much everything. Salt, dirt, water, oil that drips out of the car. And here again, this is another reason you want to pay attention. Got a sheriff right here. He's waiting for someone to screw up. Actually, it looks like that car was empty, but you get the idea. This area back here has grown up. All of this is new construction. I've been kind of impressed by it. Apartments just seem to pop up everywhere in Alamance. Here's another one. Being careful of these corners. You can see this person braked into it, which is fine. But you got to be careful for oncoming traffic that might veer, onto the inside. So I'll give you an example of engine braking. So I'm in 5th gear right now. If I pop, you can see the little bit of jerk that occurs, and I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on the sound, but you can hear their engine revving up. And that is the engine going down to a lower gear and the braking that occurs with that. Why is it not a weekend? It's killing me. And obviously I'm going a little faster than the speed limit here, so bear in mind, I've been doing this for a year and a half now, and I know these roads pretty well, so I'm pretty comfortable with it. But you might be scared to do that. You might be doing just the speed limit. But eventually you'll get broke into that, and it'll speed up. Maybe my memory doesn't serve me as good as I thought. I thought it changed up to a 40, 45 right around here, but maybe not. Started creeping forward. Saw the little jerk. He pumped his brakes. Oh, I see we got a police officer out there. Good thing we're going to go the other way. Alright, so now we've got 45 through here. Realistically, I shouldn't normal to go over the speed limit, just because everyone does it. Man, it is nice out here. It's January, people. Like, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this weather. And I know this is like the highest it's going to get for the next couple days, but dear Lord, if you will, please send me more days like this. Sorry if I touched you guys there. But yeah, this is probably a little more intermediate. You're going to get a little bit more speed out here, and you'll get more comfortable with it. But the nice thing is you can see there's no traffic. This is an excellent place to do it, especially if you can get off during lunch. If you want to ride your bike around then, there's just not a lot around here. And it's because it's an industrial area. Most people are working. Most of your trucks are in. So, I mean, you'll run into some stuff, obviously, but you just got to be kind of aware of that situation. Now, here's something that I'm not good with. I am not comfortable with I'm not comfortable with turning all the way around at yield signs, so I tend to stop unless I can see. Alright, so here we go. 55 miles an hour out here now. To me, this is where a naked bike really excels, because it's not so much wind that it's going to blow you all over the place, but it is enough wind that you feel it and you enjoy it. And I'm going to take it easy on these curves here, so just to let you know, at this speed on these kind of roads, this is a good place for counter steering practice. What we got going on there? Pretty Corvette. But this is a good place to get your counter steering kind of in check, because these are long sweeping curves a lot of times, and it just makes it a little easier to, you know, you can get on it, but you don't have to worry too much about, you know, really tucking it in. So this is probably your next step as far as getting comfortable at speed. We'll see if we can take a turn a little bit here to explain the counter steering. Again, it's not enough here to turn it. If you ever go up into the twisties, you'll really see it. Over there is the airport. Took a test flight over there once. I want to get back into that. Hopefully you can hear the gears switching that time. Again, I'm using engine braking plus the front brake right here, just to come to a nice easy stop. This is something else they don't tell you a lot. It doesn't apply as much to the cruiser guys as far as I know, but grab this tank with your legs. It'll make life a lot easier. You'll feel a lot more stable. And right now we've got some pretty good gusts, so it feels like you might get blown around a little bit. That's something else you'll have to get used to, is you know, the wind can blow a car around. It can definitely blow a motorcycle around. Speed. once you get comfortable on those easygoing streets and there's not a lot of traffic, at around 25 to 35 miles an hour, this is a great place to start and move up to, rather. So, and in this case, I do recommend on a highway like this, it's only 2-lane, so you don't have to worry too much about anyone speeding or anything like that. But then once it opens up here, now you have to be more aware of where your cars are. You have to be aware that there's a turning lane right here. You might have to turn, or they might be turning in front of you. So, and you're a small object. They do not pay attention. And always make sure to use your blinkers if you can. It definitely helps out with people noticing. This is another thing I'm always kind of cautious about. You do not have a front bumper. So don't pull up on people. Take it easy, give it plenty of space, because if someone decides to come up behind you because they're not paying attention, you're eating both ends. And it's just not a good day for anybody. As one of my favorite content creators, his name is Cycle Cruiser. He says you're going to have a real effed up day. Alright. And now we're going to get to where you're probably going to have the most fun eventually. For all you speed addicts anyways. This is probably the most fun, but it's also the most intimidating whenever you first get started. Being on the interstate. Make sure you check your blind spots. Try to stay in sight of everyone that I see, and I try to get out of the way of traffic as best I can. Hopefully you guys can hear me. There's a lot of wind. But distance. Pay attention to where people move to. That guy just got over. We're going to go up another exit. Anywhere, but it's particularly annoying whenever it's a truck in front of you, because I wanted to go up another exit. And it would have been nice to have gotten there a little bit faster and avoid all this traffic on the left here that's, you know, trying to get around everyone. Harley guys in particular any crap, but there is a culture behind Harley. Actually, that might be a gold wing. But, so that's a quick rundown on this. I think it's way more fun to ride on roads like this. It's not quite as much traffic. You don't have to worry about it as much. I don't know what's this guy's got going on. He's got his flashers on. But this was just a little tutorial on, you know, getting comfortable with speed, where you ought to go looking to do some riding, just so that you get comfortable. And I will say, thankfully, you know, you'll get more comfortable over time. It's just something that happens. But you won't look around as much. So eventually you will get comfortable, especially if you ride locally and, you know, take the time to do that kind of stuff. It will it'll come naturally. us, and still got his flashers on. Yeah, he's still got his flashers on. No idea what he's doing. But you got to be careful with stuff like that. You can see he's kicking up a lot of dirt and stuff here in the center lane by doing that. So you got to watch. I'm not sure what he's running off to, but hopefully he's paying attention and being careful. Oh, I'll have to think about what to do on the next video, but for all intents and purposes, this was kind of a good segue, I think, from how to start out getting onto a bike and where to go to from there as a beginner. And of course, you know, there's always more challenging areas. You can go to your downtown areas. There's plenty of tight spaces to get in there. Although, to be honest, if you can't park a motorcycle, that's concerning. I mean, maybe if there's a bunch of motorcycles and trying to do that stuff, a U-turn is another one you really ought to work on. You'll run into a lot of those. Just in case you need to do it, make sure you cover that back brake. It makes life a lot easier. So, well guys, I think that's probably where I'm gonna cut it, since, I don't know, I got a little bit of ride time, but this was just kind of an intro. Trying to think of anything that I want to shout out. I know I was, yelled out Moto Jitsu. Check out his channel, obviously. He'll teach you a lot of stuff. Cycle Cruise is kind of a fun guy to watch. I am rocking a new vest, so shout out to First Manufacturing. They did pretty good with the vest. I've still got some issues with some of their products, but vest, good. Highly recommend that one. So, alright guys, do the usual things if you can. If you liked what you saw or have any ideas for me, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. If not, you're not hurting my feelings. I'm not making any money doing this. This is just for fun. So, I may have made a mistake. But anyway, if you guys will, keep following me. Hopefully once it gets warmer out here, we'll go to some more exciting places other than just riding around. Maybe we'll do a review of some products. I've got some stuff that needs to be looked at, and I don't know, there's plenty more for where all this is coming from. So, well, get through here. We'll catch you guys in the next one.